Landing deployed. The Falcon has landed. You are seeing Falcon and Dragon waiting to take off in real time. From Launch Complex 39A in Florida. In just over 18 minutes, Falcon 9 will take off with Dragon and the CRS-31 mission to the International Space Station. Good evening. I am a lead propulsion. As an engineer at SpaceX, I can tell you that Dragon will bring 3 tons of science supplies and equipment to the station in space and will return with more than 4,000 pounds in about a month. The Night Dragon will fly for almost 13 hours on its own. Dock on Tuesday, November 5th at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. This mission will be SpaceX's 105th flight and Dragon's 5th trip this year. Today's space raft will be the first Dragon. The Falcon 9 boosters will be making their 5th flight to support a cargo mission to Ply. Everything we do here at SpaceX is based on reusability, and so far we have flown Dragon spacecraft on 27 missions in Falcon. Boosters on 333 missions combined. Dragon is the only U.S. vehicle that can fly around right now. A trip to Andon from the space station to bring back important supplies and return safely. Today's spacecraft might be the first Dragon to do initial tests once it docks with the station and show Dragon's reboost capability. These tests are meant to show that we can control the attitude and amount of tude with. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Right now, the weather is great for launch, and the propel-lent loading bogan is 15 minutes behind schedule. Because of the weather, the eastern range is green and ready to support, and everything looks good as we count down to the launch. Try at 9:29 a.m. Eastern Time today. Now, let's check in with Joseph at NASA in Houston. Live from the flight control room at the International Space Station at Johnson. The flight controllers at the Space Center in Houston, Texas, are keeping an eye on the International Space Station. After today, Dragon's final destination is tonight's launch. We could lab plate with you in the teams in Hawthorne as well as the Falcon team at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida to ensure all launch are met. Earlier in the count, the lab router is a device that lets the crew send telemetry and keep an eye on Dragon. The crew was briefly woken up during the sleep shift and then recycled. I am happy right now. Report. The teams here in Mission Control are go for launch. NASA astronauts Commander Suni Williams, Butch Wilmore, Don Pettit, and Nick Hague are ready to welcome Dragon with the anticipated docking. The crew is rested and ready for tomorrow morning. Ready to receive Dragon after seeing the relocation of the station's Harmony module, Node 2's forward-facing port or the zenith-facing port of the module to make room for the arrival of the commercial resupply mission. Now that we're back in Houston, this is the countdown for Dragon. I'll hand it back to you in Hawthorne for more information on the vehicles involved in the task. As we get closer to the launch, let's take a closer look at the vehicles that will be taking us to the space station today. The Falcon rocket is 27 feet tall and has 16 engines. Draco thrusters that could help you navigate in space. Spacecraft to the destination every, providing 90 pounds of force. Attached to the Dragon's trunk. The spacecraft below holds power cells, while the trunk can also hold unpressurized cargo while in flight, which it will do today. After 50 seconds, the nose cone will start to open. The nose cone has the docking mechanism that will connect with the station. Dragon played a big role in guiding the spacecraft to the space station. The reusable Dragon spacecraft fleet has completed 9 human spaceflight missions, all of which have helped to move the future of space forward by safely transporting crew and cargo to the Fran space station. NASA sent this spacecraft to the station and back to Earth 43 times as part of its commercial, resupply, and commercial crew program. This spacecraft has already helped with 4 resupply missions. Falcon A is a 2-stage rocket that will launch Dragon into orbit today. It is part of the Mass Sane missions, which include here 21, 23, 25, and 28. SpaceX made the rocket, which is known for being safe, reliable, and cheap to get to space. Just below Dragon, we will have the second rocket. The second stage of the vehicle is powered by a single Merlin MVAC, which is designed to work in space. This second stage will make sure that Dragon can enter low Earth orbit. Dragon will continue to move on its own thrusters. The first stage is just below the second stage. It has 8 engines arranged around a center engine that is held in place by a structure. Each of the Merlin D1 engines can lift 190,000 pounds at sea level, which adds up to 1.7 million pounds of thrust. The Boostinger that is helping with today's mission has already launched 4 missions. The teams in Florida are doing a series of system checks to make sure Dragon is ready to fly. This includes the Crew 8, Polaris Dawn, and TRO Starlink missions. They will be ready to go in 12.5 minutes. The spacecraft that is flying today may do 2 initial tests to show that it can control the attitude of the space station and Dragon's reboost capability. Reboosts are needed to counteract the effects of drag that can make the station lose altitude. Once the station is deconfiguration for SpaceX's system, the Draco engines will fire for just over 12 minutes and give the station SpaceX's. Partnered with AS. The creation to help guide the Dragon and ISS through the dynamic events, which will be the first time Dragon performs tests of these nature on station. SpaceX will use data-inform important analysis to support capabilities and programs that look at the U.S. deorbit vehicle. PS as chosen SpaceX to build and deliver, which will be used to, after the operational life of the space station is over, deorbit it in a controlled way. 2030. The U.S. will be based on today's Dragon, but it will have a bigger trunk section with more Draco thrusters to help it go down the station's orbit. The vehicle will also need 6 times the usable propel length and the power generation in storage of today's Dragon spacecraft. Falcon 9 and Dragon have played a significant role in advancing the future in space by transporting crew and go to Andon from the space station. There are currently 3 Dragon Capsule Suls used for cargo. Missions have flown 10 times so far, and 4 capsules have supported human spaceflight by docking with the station. The names of the capsules are Endeavour, Resilience, Endurance, and Freedom. Crew 9 got on board Dragon Freedom, which is docked at the station. This is SpaceX's 15th human space mission since 2020, when Dragon became the first spacecraft to take people to the International Space Station. As Joseph said, the crew moved the port from the forward port to the zenith port over the weekend to make room for today's launch. Now that the countdown is on, let's check back in with Joseph at JSC.